Welcome to The Explainer. We're about to dive into a story that's thousands of years old, but trust me, it plays out just like a modern courtroom thriller. You've got corruption, a shocking false accusation, and a cross-examination so brilliant it completely turns the tables. This isn't just some ancient tale. It might just be one of the very first detective stories ever told.
So we're going to start this story right at the end, or what should have been the end. The trial's over, the verdict's in, and an innocent woman has just been condemned to death.
Just listen to that. Can you imagine the desperation in that cry? That's our protagonist, Susanna. She is literally moments from being executed for a crime she didn't commit, and she's been betrayed by the very system that was supposed to protect her. Her words are just this raw plea to God, who seems like her only hope left.
So you have to ask, right? How on earth did it come to this? To figure it all out, to solve the mystery, we've got to go back to the beginning and see exactly how a lie became powerful enough to condemn an innocent person.
The story really kicks off not with a crime, but with a corrupt desire, one that's hiding in plain sight behind a mask of respectability. This is the moment the whole conspiracy against Susanna gets started.
All right, so let's meet the cast of characters here. On one side, you have Susanna, who's known for being a good person, and her husband, Joachim, a really well-respected guy in their community. And on the other side, we've got two elders, the very men who were appointed to be the judges and uphold the law.
And you have to understand, this wasn't just a one-time thing, it was a routine. Every single day, these powerful men would watch her, and day by day, this obsession just grew. Their respected position in society was becoming the perfect cover for this twisted desire that was starting to cloud their judgment. You know, at first they were actually ashamed of what they were thinking. They even hid it from each other. But then one day, they come clean to one another, and they realize they're both obsessed with the same thing. And right there, in that moment, shame turns into a conspiracy. They decide they're done just watching. Now, they're going to make a plan.
So they've got their plan, and now they just wait. They wait for the perfect moment to strike. And what comes next is this incredibly tense confrontation where they back Suzanne into a corner with an ultimatum that is designed to leave her with absolutely no way out.
Okay, so picture this. It's a warm day. Susanna goes into her private garden thinking she's totally alone. She even sends her maids away to get some things for her bath. She is completely vulnerable, and that's when the two elders, who've been hiding this whole time, see their chance. They corner her, and this is their cruel, twisted choice. Sleep with them, or they will ruin her life. They'll use their power as judges to publicly accuse her of adultery, a crime that was punishable by death. It's just a terrifying abuse of power.
And faced with this impossible choice, Susanna does something incredibly brave. She refuses. She knows that saying no is basically signing her own death warrant, but she would rather face death than violate her own conscience. She's putting all her trust in a higher justice.
And the elders don't waste any time. They immediately make good on their threat. The very next day, they call everyone together and put Susanna on trial for her life, using their powerful positions to sell this very carefully crafted lie.
Now, the way they do this is so important. The act of laying their hands on her head, that was a really solemn official gesture. It made their accusation seem totally legitimate, totally true. It made it almost impossible for anyone in the crowd to even think about questioning them. This is how easily respectability can be turned into a weapon. And the story they tell, it's a perfect lie. It explains why they were there, what they claim they saw, and it even gives a believable reason for why this supposed other guy got away. They paint Susanna as guilty and defiant, leaving her with absolutely no way to defend herself.
And you know what? The assembly completely falls for it. I mean, why wouldn't they? These are the respected judges, the leaders of their community. Their status makes their lie feel way more powerful than Susanna's truth. And so, without any investigation, without a second thought, they condemn her to die. It's a really chilling example of how unchecked authority can just completely derail justice.
So, it's at this absolute darkest moment, as Susanna is literally being led away to her execution, that the story takes a wild turn. Just when all hope seems lost, an unexpected hero steps out of the crowd. Right when it seems like it's all over, this young man, Daniel, just feels compelled to do something. And his intervention isn't just a quiet suggestion, it's a full-on disruption. He stops the entire execution right in its tracks. He just yells it out for everyone to hear. With that one powerful line, Daniel is publicly refusing to be a part of what he knows is a massive injustice. He's not just defending Susanna, He's basically accusing the entire community of being about to kill an innocent person. Daniel's challenge is just scathing. He's basically calling everyone out, saying, "Are you all serious? You're going to sentence someone to death without any real investigation? Without a single piece of actual evidence?" He points out the most basic failure of their justice system and demands they go back to court.
So they all go back to the court. And this is where Daniel really shines. He doesn't get up there and give a big speech. No, instead, he uses this simple but absolutely brilliant legal strategy. He becomes a detective, and he uses logic to take this whole conspiracy apart, piece by piece.
Daniel's plan is just genius in its simplicity. First, he stops the execution. Then, and this is the crucial part, he separates the two elders so they can't get their stories straight. I mean, that's Investigation 101, right? Prevent collusion. And finally, he gets ready to ask them one single, simple question.
And this is the moment the whole thing comes crashing down. Daniel asks each elder, all by himself, the same easy question. Under what tree did you see them together? The first one says a mastic tree. The second one, who has no idea what the first one said, says an oak. And with that one tiny, verifiable detail, their entire lie is exposed. It is just a masterclass in the power of a good cross-examination.
The reversal is immediate and absolute. The crowd, realizing how badly they were fooled, turns on the two elders. Using their own contradictory words against them, Daniel convicts them of bearing false witness. And according to the law at the time, that means they had to face the same punishment they planned for Susanna. Justice is finally served, and an innocent life is saved.
So this ancient story leaves us with a question that feels incredibly modern, doesn't it? It's a powerful reminder that powerful people can construct very convincing lies. And it challenges all of us to remember that sometimes all it takes is one person with the courage to step up and ask the right questions to bring a whole deception tumbling down.